Today's episode can pretty much be summed up in 3 words. Hell yeah, Autolycus. Love him. I don't even know. How can you not watch this show and not think that Bruce Campbell is just the bee's knees of everything, everywhere, ever when? He is mother flippin' Bruce Campbell. As Autolycus, he makes his entrance on a zip line yodeling. There are no words for how amazing Autolycus is, except for Bruce Campbell. And if you know, then you know. And if you don't know, I'm so sorry. Anyway, there's actually stuff going on besides just the presence of Bruce Campbell in this amazing opening scene with the zip line and the yodeling. He's supposedly trying to steal this jewel thing from the top of some staff thing. I don't know. It was just an excuse to get Bruce Campbell in the show. And of course the whole thing has actually been a clever ruse of Xena's to try and entrap Autolycus, because she has plans of her own with him. Not those kind of plans. Or maybe. Anyway, as soon as he's got the jewel thing, which pretty much just looks like a really tacky Christmas ornament, Xena's there to stop him. And this leads to an amazing chase scene. Autolycus is running through the town, and Xena is chasing after him on people's laundry lines. But what makes this so incredible is that all the villagers of this town are pretty much just running back and forth and going, ah! It's very clear that the director pretty much just said, and everybody just run around, just cause havoc. Because that's pretty much what everyone's doing. Eventually, we learn the plot of the episode. There's this warlord dude who supposedly got this box that belongs to these village people, and Xena wants to steal the box back from the warlord dude, and for that she needs Autolycus' help. As she explains all of this to Autolycus, there's just all this amazing banter and ridiculous and outdoing each other back and forth, and it is so glorious. Because Bruce Campbell was meant to be in this show like nobody's business. He is cheesy, he is smarmy, and he can sell these absurd lines of dialogue like nobody else can. Yes, okay, it's true, I have a crush on Autolycus, I was 14 and I was impressionable, and these things don't just disappear, okay? Bruce Campbell, I love you. So to make the plan work, they have to have Autolycus be in disguise so he can get in amongst all the people who are going to be bidding on this box which the warlord is trying to sell. And they know who he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be some dude named Cynthius. But this will pretty much just translate into dressing up Autolycus in an absurd turban, an even more absurd outfit, and Xena will be his concubine. That last part wasn't actually Xena's idea. He ends up making Xena have to wear this outfit, which Xena is all like, oh, I cannot believe you would insult me so much as to make me put on this scanty and revealing costume. But the thing is, it's pretty much exactly as revealing as what she wears every single day. The only difference is that it's sparkly and it's got, like, tassels. So they managed to convince everyone that Autolycus is this guy named Cynthius, and Xena is his concubine, and they make it onto this island where the auction is supposed to take place. We see the box, we hear all of the absurd things that are in place to guard it, and in the end, none of it's going to actually matter all that much. But then Autolycus is trying to scope out the situation a little more, and while he scopes, he gets Xena to perform the dance of the 3 veils. It's a little ridiculous. Ridiculous? On this show? Perish the thought. Anyway, Xena has to do this dance, and out of nowhere this music comes, and I mean obviously it's the score, or at least that's what we're supposed to think. I'm pretty sure there's a secret emergency stripper band who hides in the corner and plays on occasions when needed. Anyway, all of the sexy dancing seems to work, and Autolycus finds out everything he needs to know, and then they go in the next night to get to the treasure chest or what have you, the weapon, they call it a weapon. We'll hear more about this later. They go to all the trouble to break into the room where the chest is, and they discover, bum bum bum, someone has already stolen the chest and killed its owner. Drama! The episode tries to turn this into some sort of mysterious whodunit kind of thing, but it completely fails. It's very much as though the writers just threw it in there and were just like, okay, and moving on. Because when they reveal who actually, like, killed the guy and stole the chest, it takes them, like, 10 seconds, and then he ends up dead. I think he's dead. Somebody killed him. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Anyway, Autolycus wants to cut his losses and run, and Xena's all like, no, Autolycus, we can't run. Once, long ago, I was blah, 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 whatever. The villager saved her life. Okay. Anyway, in the midst of all of their very special bonding time, they suddenly realize that someone has planted the chest in their room. Oh, no! And of course, at this moment, there's a knock at the door. Whatever will they do? What they actually do is have some of the least convincing fake sexy times I think I've ever seen. Xena pretty much just gets on top of Autolycus and says some vaguely sexy dialogue as these guards come in, and they're all like, oh, sorry, no, I guess this room is clear. It was pretty lame. So at this point, Xena and Autolycus decide what they need to do to avoid being caught is to return the chest to its original place. And there's this whole long sequence where they have to do the whole spy thing and, like, descend from the roof on ropes. It's at this point that the guy that Autolycus is pretending to be shows up with Gabrielle in tow as his prisoner. And the whole deal with this guy, Centaurus, is that he too is a master of Xena's pokey thing. Which they're all like, ooh, it's pressure points. And I'm like, honey, ain't no pressure points can do that. At least I don't think there are. So he shows up with Gabrielle, and he puts his fingers here. And she's all like, oh no, I'm in pain on the ground. And I'm mostly just a little dubious. But he is a master of the pokey. So we go with it. Oh, right, this is when the actual guy who did the killing gets killed. I don't know why, but Centaurus does it. I mean, what? And he does it with the pokey. And, like, to show us that he is master of the pokey, every time he does finger motions, kind of sound effects. And it's really ridiculous. But so Centaurus is doing his whole pokey thing, and to show us just how badass he is, he does some particular combination of the pokey and actually utters the line, and now I explode your brain! Like, seriously, if that isn't the marker of a truly excellent television program, I don't know what is. Anyway, somehow or other they all escape. I don't actually remember how they do it because I don't think it's that important. At this point, Gabrielle somehow manages to get herself caught again, like only 5 minutes after she last was caught and escaped. And then Xena has to fight Centaurus, which I totally understand as far as the plot is concerned. Obviously, you want to have your heroine fight the bad guy. But, like, she fights him in hand-to-hand combat, which means pokey to pokey. And I'm mostly just confused because why? Xena has a sword. Why not use it against the master of the evil pokey? But at this point, we get the most ridiculous of all the ridiculosity in this episode. And in an episode with Bruce Campbell, there's a lot of ridiculosity. Because now, we finally see what's inside the magical treasure chest box of doom. All we've really heard about what this chest does is it's got something to do with the truth. And so when this Weasley guy tries to open up the box and see what the weapon is, this magical light just comes up and floats above the box, looking all mystical and magical. And Xena, who's standing off to the side with Autolycus and Gabrielle, majestically shouts out, "Don't fear the truth! Face it! Don't run!" And apparently that's all you need to do to escape, because the Weasley man runs away and gets burned to cinders. And if you're sitting at home thinking, you know, this is an awful lot like the climactic scene of Raiders of the Lost Ark. Because it turns out this is actually the Ark of the Covenant, and it's got the 10 Commandments inside, and I myself am pretty much staring at my TV screen going, why? How? It's all very mystifying. I think in the end, we've all learned a lesson. Never let a ridiculous plot point get in the way of appreciating Bruce Campbell. I know I haven't.